All right, welcome back, everybody. This is episode, I believe this is 43. We got the picks and preview episode. Gonna bring on a little guest this episode, something I think we're gonna start doing often. Uh, Woods Daily Picks. So we'll see that soon. We'll be at the end of the college section. Yeah, episode 43. All right, let's get right into the picks. 26. We got a good bit of games to cover. More NFL than I have in a while. Get a little bit more centered here. Also follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok. I'm gonna be posting a lot there. We're gonna get some clips, but right now I'm doing like instant reactions, kind of reply videos. Give me your thoughts on something you want me to talk about, and I'll get going on it. All right. College football, I'm 26 and 22. In NFL, I'm 13, 11 and 1. So we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Let's get right into the games. First game everybody's talking about this weekend, the one I'm very excited about. I wish this was a night game. BYU at Texas Tech. Rankings came out. This is 8 and 9 against each other, over under 52.5. Instantly betting wise, the first thing that's jumped out at me right here is how is Texas Tech favored by 10? BYU's undefeated. I understand it's at home, but BYU's undefeated. Is this a trap? No, it can't be a trap. This is free money. I'm taking this. I'm taking BYU. BYU has looked like a very good team, but Texas has as well. Texas has a middle linebacker, Rodriguez, who is playing out of his mind, has multiple forced fumbles on the year as well. It's what we've talked about in Texas Tech, and that Texas Tech is playing better than anyone uh, on no, I'll rephrase that. I'll rephrase that. They're not playing better than anyone. That's not what I was trying to say. We're not used to seeing Texas Tech play this well. We aren't. And seeing Texas Tech play like this is shocking, but I think it's something we're going to have to grow accustomed to seeing, especially with Joey McGuire there, because he has built this team to be really successful, and they're going to stay really successful. I think BYU is going to lose this game, but I think they're going to cover. I do like the over two at 52.5. I just think Texas Tech has way too much just like positive vibes going for them. You get Morton back at quarterback. They can always score points. We always know that. The defense has been playing really good. BYU's been playing very good as well. I mean, they're undefeated for a reason. But I think also playing in Lubbock too. Game day is going there for the first time in a very long time. Like this is going to be absolute insanity. Lubbock is a crazy place. I'm big on Texas Tech here. I got Texas Tech winning this game. I don't see how they don't win this game here. The only way I could see it is if the quarterback gets hurt again because their backup Will Hammond is out. So I'm on Texas Tech here. I think Texas Tech wins this game. And I'm really kind of just excited uh, about Tech and how good on the defensive side of the ball they are too. Because we're not, like I said, it's not something we're accustomed to seeing, and now we're able to see how good of a team they can be when they have both sides of the ball be, playing at an elite level, and we're seeing that now. So I've got Texas Tech winning this one. All right. Next one is Oregon -6.5 at Iowa. Over unders 41.5. Now, I put this game on there because Iowa is a sneaky, sneaky good team. The AP poll is disrespecting them. A lot of people are disrespecting them. I think Iowa's a good team, and you know we sleep on it, but playing in Iowa is a very tough place to play. Playing in Iowa is an incredibly hard place to play. I wouldn't be surprised if you look up at one point in this game in the second quarter and we're like, wait a minute, is it 17-13 Oregon? Why are they only up four? It's Iowa, and this is Oregon. Just don't be surprised. I mean, it's a tough place to play. Kirk Ferentz is always going to get the guys that play really well, and Iowa is playing really good. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They are. They're playing good. I would not be surprised if Iowa, gets Oregon into a rock fight here, and it becomes a really ugly game for them. I mean, Dante Moore is still playing really good. Ever since that loss to Indiana, we really haven't been talking about Oregon as much, but I mean, they've got right back on schedule with kicking ass ever since that game. So, that's not something that surprises me. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And before that Oregon game, he was in the Heisman conversations. I still think he should be because he is a really good quarterback. Let me pull up his stats here. he is, I mean, geez, man, he is playing out of his 1,700 yards on the season, 19 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And it's very funny looking at uh, the Iowa's quarterback stats: 946 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. What? That's hilarious. Look, Oregon's playing really good, and they're very good on the defensive side of the ball too. Defensively in passing yards, they're first, and they only allow 124 a game. This is not a team that's going to threaten you in the passing game, so you're going to be okay with playing Iowa. The rushing game, though, is not as good. The rushing game is 31st ranked for defensive wise. They average giving up about 114 yards a game. Now, on the defensive side of the ball for Iowa, they are a very good defensive team. They're fourth in the country with points allowed, with averaging only 13 a game, and rushing they're 10th with averaging only giving up 83 per game. But on the offensive side of the ball for Oregon, they're fifth in the country, averaging 41 points a game, and rushing the ball it is ninth with 237 points per game. So yards per game. So it's going to be a very interesting and very fun game. I think it's going to be a rock fight. I could see this one being low scoring because I think, that's how Iowa likes to play, and Iowa's going to want to keep it that way. I don't see Iowa winning this game. I think Oregon's definitely going to win this game. But, if that line moved to 7.5, I'd maybe take Iowa. I'd maybe take it. It's 6.5 right now. All right, next game, A&M at Mizzou. Now, A&M is a 7.5-point favorite. Over-under is a 7-point favorite, actually. Over-under is 48.5. I'm taking A&M here. I talked about it on my TikTok a little bit today, but A&M is a team that we're not talking as much about that we should. A&M's playing at an extremely high level. Marshall Reed is, working himself into the Heisman category. If they go undefeated going into the playoffs, he should be in New York for the Heisman ceremony. And honestly, he has a very good chance to win the Heisman. Like, he's playing at an extremely good level, running the ball and passing the ball. And on the other side of the ball, their defense is finally playing the way that a Mike Elko defense needs to play. And they're just suffocating teams, running the ball and passing the ball. They hit hard. They are flying around. Like A&M, I don't like A&M. I've said that multiple times. I'm not an A&M fan. But this doesn't, this doesn't shock me because I've believed in Mike Elko for a while. He's a really good head coach. We saw him be a good head coach at Duke, and I knew it was just a matter of time here at Texas A&M, and it's in his second year, and they're playing really good. So I don't think this is going to be a close game. At Mizzou might be a little tough, but also Mizzou not having Bo Perbula is really going to mess up that offense, because what Mizzou's been able to really do effectively in their offense has been run the ball with Ahmad Hardy, and then you have Bo Perbula who can run the ball and throw the ball as well. Now he's out. Now their offense is mainly going to rely on that running game with Ahmad Hardy, and A&M has such a really good defense. They're going to be able to, tighten up on the defensive line and not let him run and force the backup quarterback to throw, as much as he can. And I think this defense is just going to do what it's been doing all year, suffocate them, and just make it tough for them to manage. So I got A&M here winning this one. And I kind of like that over at 48.5. No, I like A&M and I like the over. All right, last game. I just threw this one in there because there's not that many highlight games you can kind of look at. Next weekend's a lot better. LSU at Bama. I put this one in there because this is, I've got Bama winning this. Bama is a 10-point favorite. Surprisingly, just 10 points. I thought they'd be about 17. Over-under is 49.5. Ever since Brian Kelly, we've all forgotten what LSU looks like as a football team. Defense didn't look good. Offense doesn't look good. Bama's on a roll. I think Bama wins this game. But, look, don't be surprised if we see LSU play really well and we see LSU play, with some fight. And, they play pretty – what's the word? I mean, they just play really competitive. I'm just saying don't be shocked if we see a very competitive team come out and play this weekend in Bryant-Denny, especially under the lights. the interim coach is Frank Wilson. He has been with the LSU program for forever. He's, a player's coach. Guys love him. First thing he did coming back, becoming the interim, was allow former players to be in the building again, which you're at LSU. That speaks to how shitty of a person Brian Kelly is. How did you not allow guys to see guys to visit the facility? These are guys who won championships for you. These are guys who won Heisman's. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. I think that's insane. I think that's insane. But all that to the side, look, Alabama's been playing really well. You guys have heard me talk about Ty Simpson so much. He just continues to improve and just look better and better each week. I'm also, as I've said, I'm also very impressed with the Alabama defense too. Ranking, it's actually surprising. They only ranked 20th in the country with points per game, giving up 18 points per game. But when you watch them, it doesn't seem like that. It seems like they're just not letting anybody do anything. Passing yards, they ranked 12th, only averaging, giving up 163 passing yards. But the Alabama offense has been, great in the passing game as well, averaging 291 yards a game, while the LSU offense has not been great. They have been very bad, and been the inconsistency of Garrett Nussmeier, right? He's only thrown for 1,800 yards on the season with 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. We still don't know if he's healthy or not, or if he's, fighting an injury. What Ty Simpson, on the other hand, has already passed 2,000 passing yards on the year. He's got 2,100 right now, 20 touchdowns and only 1 interception, which is pretty insane, especially looking at the resume of games that they've played lately. Alabama's also at that point, too, where with the gauntlet Alabama has been going through and that they're going to finish the season off of, if Alabama loses 2 games, there's a chance it's Alabama. They would find a way to put them in, especially after the record and the games that they played. I'm just saying that. If Alabama somehow loses to Oklahoma, let's say they somehow lose to LSU or Auburn, those conversations are going to happen, and that's something that very well could happen because that's something that we see all the time with not Ole Miss, Notre Dame, and we're seeing it. Notre Dame has a head-to-head loss against Miami, but Notre Dame is in the playoffs ranked number 10, and Miami is 18, which you look at that and you're like, this makes no fucking sense because Miami beat Notre Dame, and I agree. But also, I think a big thing that's playing into factor now is the eye test and how each team is looking since then. Remember, that was week 1. Miami looks like a completely different team. They're lost. They don't know what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. And on the flip side, Notre Dame looks like a totally different team that they can do something with their offense, and their defense is starting to play a little bit better. And Jeremiah loves playing out of his mind. So don't be surprised if that happens with Alabama because it's already happening with Notre Dame. And I think Notre Dame has the upper hand, and I think they are going to end up in that spot there. So I got LSU winning this one. I mean, sorry, no. I got Bama winning this one after all that. All right. It is time. It is time for my brother Austin, Woods Daily Picks. We're going to give him a call. It's the first I'm calling on the podcast, so we're going to do this and call right into speaker. I feel y'all can hear.
Luke, how we doing?
Austin, brother, how are you? You are live on the podcast. Woods Picks. Let's go. All right. I just gave my picks on the games this weekend, not betting wise. There's one I want to get your thought on. I'm loving BYU. I feel like BYU is a little trapped this weekend, but I love BYU plus 10 at Tech. Of course.
See, it's game day. Being a Big 12 homer, it's good to see the Big 12 get some respect.
Of course, of course.
If you don't mind, I just kind of want to introduce myself. I know you got a bunch of followers out there, and I don't know if you have any listeners listening live, but My name's Austin Woodruff. I started Woods Daily Picks in the fall of 2020. Like any good degenerate gambler, COVID was kind of the height of my sports betting career, if you want to call it a career. Um, Man, I got shelled. I mean, I was just getting shelled left and right. And I was like, all right, I need to find an outlet that maybe isn't as expensive, but keeps me in the game. So that's kind of how I started Woods Daily Picks. The ultimate goal was to have a sports page, but also get paid for sending out picks. So that's kind of how I started the page. And then fast forward to 2022. In the bowl season, college football bowl season of the winter of 2022, I decided to create I call it the algorithm, but essentially it's this Excel model where it takes all this data, variables, basically all data entry, and it projects, it spits out a score. And I use that projected score and I reference it to Vegas lines. And obviously that's kind of how it works. So I've been doing that since 22. I also have a model for NFL, college basketball, and NHL. So, with that said, that's funny enough. The BYU and Tech game is the one I threw in. I knew we were going to be chatting about it, so I got BYU covering. My projected score. I'll give you the projected score first. It's 29.06 to 19.29. So we'll round up and down, and it's 29 to 19. So it's right on the dot of 10.
Okay.
I believe the line's at 10 and a half, I think.
Okay. It might have moved to 10. It might have moved to 10 and a half. I checked last night. I made my projections last night and I had him at 10. It might have moved to 10 and a half now. If it's going up, that's crazy. I thought it'd be going down.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me pull up I don't know if you have the action app.
Oh, dude, the action is what I use. No free ads here, everybody. No free ads. But the
Yeah.
action.
Okay. It's moved to -10 is what I'm showing right now.
Huh. That's pretty crazy.
BYU losing by 9.76. What that tells me is, in reference to the -10 at the line right now, I got BYU a slight edge to cover. Sounds like you're all over though. Huh?
I am too. I love BYU to cover. The only thing that worries me is just playing in Lubbock. I know Lubbock is going to be insane this weekend. So that's the one part that kind of scares me that like let's say Brockmeyer throws a pick six early and they get in the hole. That could be a big issue for BYU because I don't think that crowd is going to be full force. If it was a night game, I would be all over Tech because I feel like a night game at Tech in this scenario would be even crazier. But I don't know. I don't know. Tech playing at Tech is kind of scary because all the fans are insane. But I'm sticking with BYU. I feel like I can't look at an undefeated BYU team going into Lubbock, a team that's gotten a loss, and you've seen them playing consistent at times, and be like, well, I'm just going to bet against a team that's undefeated. But I don't know. Sometimes that's how Vegas works. What do you like about the over? I saw it was at 52.5. It might have moved.
Yeah. We'll say on the going back to the spread real fast and just the overall, vibe of the game. I think Tech really got screwed by having this kickoff at 11 a.m.
Oh, I totally agree.
So, from home, in quotes, working. And they showed a replay of 2008 Michael Crabtree catch from Graham Harrell. And as obviously against Texas, that probably their most iconic win. And that plays Halloween weekend. It was a night game. I had a coworker that was at that game. He said he got hung. He was hung over twice throughout the day. That's how much alcohol those fans have awaiting a night game. So with this one starting at 11 a.m., let's be honest, all the fans will still be drunk and rowdy. But I think they did get a little hosed with this game kicking off at 11 versus the prime time,
I agree.
6:30 p.m. start.
I agree.
The under. It was showing 48.35. I think the line right now that I'm seeing is 52.5.
Okay.
When you look at these defenses, first off, both teams are extremely healthy. Obviously, Tech lost their backup recently, and he was starting games. But when you look at the opening depth charts this season for these two teams, everyone's relatively healthy. I mean, you got all the starters in. So I think that means it's going to be a full force game. But you look at the strong suits of these two teams, the defenses. I think Tech has given up, let's see, 13.2 points per game, points allowed per game, and BYU's at 17. Um, that's pretty exceptional. I don't have to pull up the rankings and how that ranks in the country, but I'd be curious to see what do you think. I'm kind of relying on the defenses to make it a low scoring game.
I am too, and Tech's I mean, I've said it multiple times on this show this season. Tech's defense, it's crazy now what we are seeing from an actual a Texas Tech offense that's very good as all of their offenses are. Now we finally have a Tech team with a good defense, and you see how just good overall the team can be. And I mean, it's weird to see because we're not used to it, but I agree. I mean, I do like the defenses in this game as well. I thought the over just for like the craziness for just like a noon game in
Right.
Lubbock. Like I could see that happening, but I totally could also see a situation like we saw with BYU and Texas Tech, where Texas Tech just shut down BYU. I mean, shut down Utah. That game with
Utah.
Utah, yeah, Utah and Texas Tech. I could see them doing the same exact thing here. So I see your point there with that under.
Yeah, it's crazy. I pulled up the rankings. So Tech points allowed 13.2, like I said, but they're ranked fifth in the country. BYU, they've allowed 17 points per game. That's ranked 16th. It is funny looking back retrospectively, seeing all the Tech, just brilliant offenses, the schemes that they've had over the years. Obviously, they've had hell of offensive players. Obviously, Mahomes comes to mind, but this year, it's completely. I'm not going to say their offense is bad because certainly they're really good, but I mean the tale of Tech seasons that defense, which I mean that just hasn't been a reality at least in my life, our lifetime.
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
the defense has always been dog water. And man, that D line is something. And I think it's going to keep getting better, obviously, with the NIL money and the guys that they're bringing in.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Okay, so to round this off, and I appreciate you coming on. This is awesome. Great insight for the
This is good
people.
stuff.
Great insight for the people. We will plug Woods Daily's picks Instagram in the when we release this as well tomorrow. Little fun question. I do this when gambling. When I have a team that's fucked me over so bad on a bet, I make a rule to never bet them again. Do you
Yeah.
have do you have teams like that in mind who have done that to you? Like, do you have a specific one where you've been like, dude, I hate this team and the amount of pain it caused?
It's funny. It's funny you asked that question, and I'll tell this to the listeners. I mean, this pretty unplanned on my part, so I didn't even know this question was going to be asked. But Clemson, and that's for this year. I mean, years past, I've probably had different teams. I had this exact conversation with my father yesterday because we're in this pick'em league where essentially you assign a confidence bet number 1 through 20, 20 being most confident, but you apply it to the games, and it's all money line. And I was telling him, I think Clemson has fucked me over every week. I get a Clemson game wrong. Whether I pick Clemson to win or to pick the other team to win. I was all over UNC. I'm an extreme dumbass for picking UNC over Clemson, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I mean, Clemson just dog stomped them. And then I picked Clemson against SMU. Well, SMU goes into Clemson and wins that game. So I'm sticking. I'm staying away from them. So to answer your question, it's Clemson this year. Lost that team, or I don't know what's going on there, but he's been a great coach, and last few years, maybe it's his time to
Yeah,
move on because team's in shambles.
I'm kind of in the ACC too. The dumbest bet I ever had, and I'm never betting on him for the rest of this. I haven't on the rest of the season, and never again as long as he's there. Is UNC betting against TCU? I went with yeah, I went with UNC first game of the year. What a dumb pick of mine that was. I watched that game just being like, I'm the biggest moron out here for thinking that a guy who came in the spring is going to get a team ready against a coach who's been in a national championship. It was a curb stomping.
Yeah, that was there were a lot of unknowns going into that game. I would say obviously more so on the UNC side of it,
Yeah.
but even TCU. I mean, Yeah, I mean, Kavarian Barnes, he kind of took over that game, and TCU. You can ask any TCU football fan. Last few years, the running game since Kendra Miller, it has not been reliable. So, that being a big part of that game was pretty surprising. And I just remember, when that game ended, I was like, "What the hell did we just watch?" Because
Yeah.
I did not expect that outcome.
Yeah.
Which sticks. I don't know if you previewed the TCU game. Obviously, you're an Arkansas guy, so you probably haven't looked too much at it. But I did kind of want to hear your thoughts on that one if you've looked at it.
I did not look at it. Remind me who y'all playing. I'll give it off the top of my head.
Yeah, so we got Iowa State. It's a
Okay.
2:30 game in Fort Worth.
Okay. What's that over? What's that spread at?
I believe the spread off the top of my head, it opened at 3.5 in favor
Okay.
of TCU, and I believe it's at 6.5 right
Oh
now.
wow. Okay, so honestly, I love you guys. I love TCU in this pick. Um, just because I've been high on Iowa State the past couple of weeks. Like I thought they were going to beat Arizona State last week, and they didn't. And just watching them play offense, it's like it does. And they're healthy again. They have both their running backs back, but it's something just doesn't look right. Brock, is it Brockmeyer? Is that the quarterback? Yeah, he doesn't. He just doesn't look right. Like and I love Josh Hoover of TCU and that offense you'll have. And I think y'all are a very, really, always, TCU is always a really good offensive team. I think y'all will definitely win this. And it's just more, too, about just like the confidence I had with Iowa State earlier in the year has dropped since that. I think it was the Cincinnati game where they go in at home to play Cincinnati, and Cincinnati just beat them bad. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're all over it. Being a homer, it's tough to want to take the spread because I think TCU is a little inconsistent at times this year. You actually look at Hoover's splits statistically between home games and away games, and it's quite fascinating to see the differential. I mean, Hoover just balls out at home. On the road, it's like a completely different football team. Something to think about, obviously, with us being at home, that favors the Horned Frogs. But I kind of like the under in this one. I know I've been kind of about the unders, but I think so. There's rumors that Hoover has a sling on his throwing arm, and it's thumb. He had thumb surgery last year, and one of the beat writers came out on Twitter and said he had surgery this week. That was in fact false. So that is
Oh,
good news. But he has been wearing a sling this week at practice. So something to think about. It's his throwing hand. So obviously does that limit the scheme as far as the air raid scheme goes? Obviously, TCU is a very pass heavy offense. I think the scheme could change. They need to run the ball more. That's what killed us against K-State a few weeks ago. Barnes was having a great game in the first half running the ball, and then we went away from the run game in the second half, and that was kind of the reason why we ended up losing. So maybe this is a game where they rely on the run game a little more. Obviously, that would probably bring down the points. I should choose up a lot of clock. So maybe that's why I'm leaning towards the under. But something to look at, if you're going to put any action
yeah.
on this game.
I think you've talked me into. I will be honest. I will be honest, and I'll be honest with the fans here. I've lost 7 picks in a row, dating back to Saturday. So it's been bad. I've been bad, but I need a winner, and that might be the winner right there. I think you talked me into it. But Austin, I appreciate you coming on. This was awesome, man. We're gonna try to make this a regular thing. Get Austin's picks for the weekend, and yeah, anything you want to just plug about the site and where people can find you.
Yeah, no, I have Instagram page. I know you'll probably tag me, but
Yeah,
Woods Daily Picks. I like I said, I throw out sports picks based on the model I have. Also, every now and then I'll do tier lists or power rankings. Fantasy football position power rankings. So I also have a Woods or a Woody Golf. It's kind of a golf content part of the page as well. So
love that.
it's a multifaceted sports
Yeah,
page, and it's kind of only growing, and opportunities like this to kind of chop it up and put podcasts out there. I mean, that's only going to grow the brand. So
for sure.
no, appreciate you having me. I look forward to doing this more. I think it's a good thing to do during the week, and
Yes, sir.
give us something to look forward to during the work days.
Of course, of course. Well, Austin, appreciate you coming on, brother, and let's win some bets. Let's win some bets.
Yeah, I took Cowboys live bet money line on Monday, and yeah, you know how that went.
I
So
did the same
I'm
thing.
with you right
Did the
now,
same thing.
rooting for them. With you.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. See you, brother. All right. That that was awesome. That's something I'm gonna start doing often. And yeah, I'm gonna try to have Austin on. I'm gonna try to do weekly. If we can't do weekly, bi-weekly for sure. Just whenever he's available to do it, or we can do it. Um, but yeah, that's great. That's great. Follow Austin with Daily Picks. He's an awesome guy. He's an awesome guy. All right, we're gonna wrap up with NFL. Just rapid fire NFL picks. We got 4 games. Ravens -4 at Vikings over under 48.5. I got the Ravens. I think the Ravens are I think the Ravens are going to go on a win streak here. And we saw JJ McCarthy play good, but I think we're also going to potentially see the bad JJ McCarthy again. That's kind of how his season goes when he plays. It's up and down and up and down. So I got Ravens here, back to full strength here. Lamar, I think, will have a good game. But watch out for the Vikings defense, because we've seen how well they can play when they need to. Next game, Patriots at Bucks. Bucks is a Bucks are at a 2.5 point favorite. Over under is 48.5. I love the Patriots here. I know everybody loves the Patriots. I just love that plus sign next to the Patriots and how well the Patriots are playing. The Bucks, you're coming off of a bye, trying to get some people healthy here. I think that's good as well. And look, I think after the bye, we've just forgotten how good the Bucks are, because you had the bye and then you lost on Monday Night Football to the Lions. I think they're still a very good team, but I think the Patriots are playing at a really good level right now, and I think Drake May, obviously too, is playing at a great level. Him being able to attack that secondary is going to be something that's going to be interesting to see, because I'm not as confident in that secondary. You're confident in Antoine Winfield, and I'm just realizing now I messed up. The Lions played the Buccaneers, then the Buccaneers played the Saints, then there was a bye. Okay, so it was Saints, then bye. But yeah, I feel confident in the Patriots in that passing game. What I don't feel confident in the Patriots in is that running game, because they don't really have an established running back right now. Ramondre Stevenson uh, and Travion Henderson haven't really stepped up and been the guy. They've had fumbles, played inconsistently. Are we going to be able to see them get one of them get going in this game? It's going to be tough to do that against Vita Vea and that front four, but I think we could see it happening and them getting success. But I think that the offense and the offensive pass game for the Patriots is going to keep doing what they've been doing and just play really well. So I got the Patriots winning that one. All right, Rams -3.5 at 49ers. Over under 49.5. I love the Niners here. I do. It seems like everything is going well for the Rams. Everything's going well. Everything's going well. And then they go into San Francisco. Sean McVay is playing a coach that he knows very well in Kyle Shanahan. And I think this is the game that Kyle Shanahan just lets Christian McCaffrey get in his bag. We saw it last weekend against the Giants, and you're playing the Giants. You got 2 touchdowns, but I think this is when we see him really let him loose and play really well. Don't be surprised if they come out and they win this game by 10. I wouldn't be shocked. I think they're going to win this game outright. So I'm going to take 49ers here, and I'm going to get that +3.5 as well. All right, last game, Eagles at Packers. This is Monday Night Football. The Packers are a 2.5 point favorite at home. The over-under is 44.5. I love the Eagles. Coming off of a bye. The only issue is you are going to be playing a hungry Packers team now. This Packers team is coming off of a big loss at home, an embarrassing one against the Panthers, and they're going to look for a way to bounce back in a big way. And I think we're going to see it here. I think Micah Parsons is going to have a good game. You are playing one of the best offensive lines in all of the NFL in the Eagles, but I think we're going to see Micah Parsons playing at a high level this game, because we haven't really seen him do that yet this year. We haven't seen him surprise us and play that well. Is this going to be the game that we see Matthew Golden finally make an impact in the receiving game? I think this could very well be the game, and it should be the game, because the Eagles have a very weak secondary. They went out to get some to get some help, and you signed Jair Alexander, who's washed. Okay, what the Eagles did do at the trade deadline that helped them was They went out and got Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins, which just adds to their very good front four and pass rush game. So that's a big issue that the Packers offensive line is going to have to face. But I've got the Eagles here. I got the Eagles here winning this game. I think they can go into Lambeau. They're going to find a way to win this game. And I really think it's going to be just the inconsistency of Jordan Love. I think the front four, especially with Jalen Phillips coming in now, Nolan Smith coming back, they're going to be able to cause pressure, and you're going to be able to stop uh, this Packers offense of getting rolling because they just have not been playing as so great. And, is that part of the play calling with Matt LaFleur, or is that just the inconsistency with Jordan Love? I'm going to go with the latter and Jordan Love just being inconsistent, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see, but that's a game I'm really excited for. But yeah, I've got the Eagles at that one, and I have the over with that one as well. That's the episode, you guys. I appreciate you guys listening. Like I said, follow me on Instagram. Uh, subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, follow me on TikTok. I'm going to start posting stuff. Give me some ideas of stuff you want me to, debate or have conversations with you guys about. Follow Austin at, Woods Daily's Picks on Instagram. I'm going to leave it in the bio on my Instagram as well. When I post it, I'm going to put in the caption. I'll tag him as well. Make sure you give him a follow. Yeah, I appreciate everybody listening. This was a great episode. Thank you guys so much. And, we're going to have a great weekend and enjoy the football.